coming up on this episode of the Spiro Podcast.
But you get into what's called the owner trap when your ego is larger than what it should be. You get into the owner trap where everything revolves around you. There was a point in my business that wow was Todd and Todd was wow. And when you grow to enough agents, that becomes overwhelming. And you are going to drop the ball. You are going to forget things. And you are going to wonder why you backed yourself into a job.
Welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd Kivimaki and Craig Magrum.
Hi, and welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. As we say each and every week, Spiro is a software platform. It's designed to help you run your day-to-day real estate media business, but ultimately really help you scale as well. I'm Craig Magrum, host of the podcast. Welcome back another week. If you are a returning viewer or listener, if this is your first time watching or listening, welcome. Our whole goal is to help you build a strong business, and we've got a great community that's being built. A lot of great participation from those that listen and watch, and we appreciate you taking the time to be a part of this podcast. So, welcome back, Mr. Todd Kivimaki.
Hey, it is incredible to be back. I snuck out for a vacation for a couple of weeks, and it was good to get out. I saw some of you on the Yacht Mastermind with Eli Jones, so that was fun to do in Miami, and always good to connect with you guys. And at this time right now, Craig, if you're listening to this at launch, we might be in the air headed to Vegas for the first of the two conferences. This is the Rep Conference. So this is just like the highlight of my year, seeing all of you.
It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, and you know who's in the air with me? Craig is.
Actually, I think we're on different flights.
Yeah, Craig. So we are all flying out of Detroit. We're flying out. So 6 of us are going. Detroit. Like my dad's from Detroit. So I say it like I'm from Detroit.
Okay. All right.
And we are on 3 different planes, all leaving at the same time.
It's 3 different planes? I knew we were on at least 2 different planes.
You, and then me with Jess and Steve are on 3 different planes, I heard.
Oh, that's funny.
So get that. Funny. I don't know.
At least 2 of them are leaving within 5 minutes of each other. But yeah. I'll wait for you at the airport. Don't worry. I think I beat you there.
Yeah. Hey, if you are in Vegas with us this week, or if you're listening to this a couple weeks later as PMRE, please come and find us, okay? Yeah. Come find us. We would love to connect with you. We would love to just talk, hear about your story, say hello, come find us, and it would just be a thrill of ours to get to meet you in person.
Absolutely. Please make sure your name tags are out. I am terrible with names. Even if I've seen you on social media, seeing your profile picture versus seeing you in person, I don't know what it is about my brain, but there's always a disconnect. I just don't want to feel bad. I'm like, who are you? Please say hello.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
It's going to be great. All right. So we have a great topic this week suggested by the listeners and viewers. We got a very, very strong request, Todd, to talk about hiring. So that's what we're going to be talking about this week. But before we do, you have an announcement you wanted to make.
Yeah, just a quick pitch for you all. Spiro Sync. So this is our conference. This is in January of 2026, the 22nd and the 23rd in Dayton, Ohio. This is our first time we're putting together a conference. And we have done this because we want to connect with you. We want you to come, grow, and learn, but we also want you to take a breath, and we want to help you build community around you. So we're hoping to put about 150 people, it's a small group, into a room for a couple of days, have you guys connect. We're going to go out into the city and do some fun things in the evening, and just all take a breath, learn a little bit, gear up, jumpstart for 2026. And then I've been saying this, but my goal is that you leave Dayton, Ohio with a few new phone numbers in your cell phone, some people that you might lean on, some people that you might hop on on a Wednesday evening to just talk about life, business, whatever it may be. But that's our goal for it. We would love to have you come. Tickets are still available, but they are going fast. So please don't wait to book. The VIP tickets sold out almost immediately, but still we have a limited number of remaining tickets that are still great. Both days you get to go to. We're going to feed you on those days. Visit Spiro.media. Click the Spiro Sync button to find out the full list of who, what, when, where, and why. And then you can book your ticket from the website.
It's going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So
cool.
That's it for me, Craig. Let's, it's great. We saw this suggested quite a bit in the comments and also in emails. So if you have a topic, please let us know. hello@spiro.media, or just if you're on YouTube, you can post in the comments. But we are here to bring you value. And enough of you said, hey, let's talk about hiring. And it's very fitting this time of the year, Craig.
It is. And we've faced a little bit of a challenge hiring ourselves, particularly in my market, where I'm currently the only photographer and videographer. And it has been a challenge, Todd, finding somebody either qualified or interested, or schedule works out for them, doesn't work. It's hiring. Why? Let's ask the first question. Why does it seem hiring is so, I don't want to say hard, but challenging?
Yeah, it's a great question, Craig. When you look at hiring, I think that the available working market has slimmed down a little bit. And I think that you have some people stuck in between jobs or sizes of careers. And for us, we are looking at, who do we attract, right? Like, do we attract creatives that know how to shoot real estate media? Well, it's a niched market. Like how many people, more people know how to shoot real estate media in 2025 than in 2004 when I started.
Yeah.
But still, it's not like you're putting out a post. They're not teaching this in school. So do you go to a creative? Then are you trying to pull them from weddings and babies and families, or creating corporate videos, or customer service is a really big, it's probably the bigger aspect of our job, right, Craig? So do we hire someone with that experience? Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I think there's an eye for real estate photography. I've had realtors tell me, hey, you've got the eye for it, Craig. I'm like, well, that's great. But part of that eye is developed and cultivated by the training that I went through. There is certainly some natural, talent people can have for it. But I'm convinced that a large part of success in being a real estate photographer is the customer service, the interpersonal skills. And maybe that's my sales, business development bias. But I firmly believe people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And we've probably all heard that phrase, but I don't know. I've seen some photographers that have that and do very well, and some that don't, and the realtor doesn't relate to the photographer nearly as well. And really, I think this is a team effort. The realtor has to see their photographer as a trusted, close team member that they can say, this is my photographer. There's like some ownership that the realtor feels in having a particular individual be part of their team in front of the seller.
Yeah, for sure. Let's break that down a little bit, Craig, the psychology of that. So if you are looking at hiring, then at some point, and maybe right now, your clients are used to only you.
Yeah.
So that is a hurdle, and there's ways to get over that, and it's part of growth. But if your clients are used to you and you have the relationship, that Craig made a point that's so important, then that is something that you have to pass off and train to your photographer. Also, I look back over the years, and when I shot houses, and I haven't shot a house for a very long time. When I shot houses, and I'm not saying this to boost my ego, I don't know if I literally got one complaint. Now, it's not because my media was spectacular. Like if I look back at my media from 10 or 15 years ago, I cringe. It's bad. Like it's evolved a lot since then, but I'm like, oh my, like I used to angle down on rooms, Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're,
I'm 6'7", y'all. I'd put the camera above my head and point it down. I thought it was a cool view. Nobody complained about it. You know what? Because it was bad stuff, but I had the relationship with them. They trusted me.
Yep.
And that is one thing that we've had some really great photographers over the years, like really good eye, technical photographers that don't speak or don't have good enough customer service in a property. And we get feedback from them that they were rude.
Yes.
Or they seem, so that's kind of the tone that we get. And that, I think that shows that if your clients, the agents, and their client, the homeowner, if they leave feeling wowed, feeling warm, they don't care so much about the photos.
Mm-hmm.
They're less apt to point and say, where was this photo? You didn't take that, or this is not as steady as it could be, or I want more contrast, because they feel good about the person. They don't maybe don't want to hurt their feelings, or, oh, it's good enough. And then they don't try to nitpick it. And we've had cases before where the agent has not had a good customer service experience at the property with our photographer, and they just nitpick the crap out of that set of images. And I looked at them, there's nothing wrong with them, but we just know at that point, the damage has already been done. Like we would just send another photographer out there. They would take the same exact photos and the realtor would be happy with them.
So would you say in hiring, is the first thing you're looking for personality and customer service communication over the creative side?
For us, it is, Craig, 100%. So we want to take our first core value at WOW is clients are our number one priority. So we have to align with that. We have to hire photographers that have that as a core value and want to take care of the clients. We can teach them all the photo and video. We've got a phenomenal video series and curriculum that will walk somebody through knowing nothing to taking very good photo, video, and drone. Okay, 3D, all the stuff. So we're confident about that we can do that. Just as a side note here, shameless plug, if you are interested in that, I've said that enough, and enough of you have said, hey, wait a minute, can I have this? Like, can I buy this? Can I have access? Can I find out more about what you have for your video curriculum? We are looking at how we can get that to you, what's relevant to you. If you could just email us, hello@spiro.media, and let me know you're looking for that. I'll put you in contact with Steve, who's spearheading that at WOW. But that has been a huge resource for us because if I look at some of our best photographers, one of them came from as a factory worker. The other one worked in customer service management where they were either bartenders or waiters. And they are our best photographers because they walk in and they can just carry on a conversation. They can make people feel warm. But
in our training that we have for more the creative and technical side, what angles to take, how many to take, all of that. The one thing I don't think we have is the customer service side, how to interact. So when I've trained or had people shadow me up in my market, I approach it from the business development side because the challenge I've run into is exactly what you referred to earlier, Todd. People get used to you doing their photos and they develop that relationship and then they don't want anybody else. And that's been part of my challenge is getting realtors comfortable with somebody besides me because I'm at capacity. I can't take on any additional clients. And I need some of my current clients to be able to trust another photographer that's part of our team and part of our system so that I can have some time freed up, right? So when I've had people shadow me, I approach it from the business development side, and I'll share with them how to talk with the realtor, how to interact with the seller, helping them understand you're part of that realtor's team when you're on this appointment. Yes, you're part of Wow Video Tours, but you're part of X realtor's, team, and you represent them. Your job is to try and help them win more listings. So anything you can do to put, like you said, a good feeling into that seller. When that seller is asked by a friend or a family member, hey, who did you use to sell your house? They're going to think of that realtor, and that realtor will get that referral and that lead and win another listing. So if you can embed yourself as part of that realtor's marketing team as a photographer, that's the thing I'm trying to instill in any new members that we have as part of our team, is that you're not just a photographer or a creative. Yeah, you've got a great eye, you take beautiful pictures, but it's more, the job is more than that. So you've got to look for that natural bent and then cultivate that, grow it, give them those little tips and tricks that you've developed over the years to build such a good clientele.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Now, we don't want to scare you and think that hiring is not worth it, because
no.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
And, there's challenges to anything, and there are challenges to hiring, and we're going to jump into those soon. But I just want to make the point that, because I think it's important for you all as owners out there to get, this was tough for me. So I want to share this with you. When I was doing all of the photography, I was maybe doing 15, 20K a month. Okay. And it was just me, and I didn't have to deal with any complaints. I knew every one of my clients. Like, I felt like I gave stellar customer service. Like, I wowed them every time. But, and then when I hired, we lost some of the clients that loved Todd. And that was hard. I've got a name that comes to mind, Rhonda, and I won't say her last name, but I had worked so hard to get Rhonda, and she had a great relationship with her current photographer at the time. And I had called, I had stopped by, I'd sent things. I wanted to get Rhonda. She was a top probably 5 agent at a new company that I was not really embedded in. And her photographer went on vacation, and her photographer didn't have backup photographers. And you know who was there? I was. And I happened to shoot the home of her builder that they were living in, their personal home.
Wow.
So Rhonda was at the shoot, and not only was Rhonda at the shoot, but the homeowners, as the builder who builds a lot of houses and Rhonda sells them, was at the shoot. And Craig, you know what? My jokes were good that day. My hair was put together. Like, I was on it. I'm sorry, this is my ego, but I knocked this one out of the park. I just had it. Like, I was like, I still got it. And Rhonda shot every property with me after that property. And I was proud of it. Like, I was happy about it. And then honestly, when I brought Ryan on as our next in line photographer, Ryan was better than me. His jokes are better. His hair is better. He's got more of a hard part, these fancy glasses. He was just better than me. And she was good with him too. But when we grew beyond myself and Ryan, that's when she just wanted that personal relationship. And I had to be okay with it. It hurt. Like, I cry a little tear at night every once in a while because of it, because I worked so hard to get that relationship. And she does a lot of listings. But if I wanted to get another 1,000 agents, I had to be okay losing Rhonda. And I just want to make that point to all of you, that you are going to lose some clients, not all of them. You're going to lose a small percent of clients because they are used to you. And the 20K that I was doing back then, when it was myself and maybe Ryan, pales no comparison to the 350K a month we do now. Okay, so this is part of growing. You are going to change. Clients that found you attractive in a business sense at your stage now versus 30 some photographers, they're different and you're going to lose some people. So you just have to get over that. There's no easy way about it.
So that's hard. That was part of my problem too, is when I hired my first photographer, when I had my business, the feedback I would get is he's a nice guy. He's quiet. He's not you. And they would say the pictures aren't quite as good. And I'd look at them. I'm like, this is exactly how I would shoot the photos. But it boiled down to that relationship. So yeah, if you can train people when you hire them and see that potential for great relationship building in that photographer and bring that out of them, I think you can mitigate some of that loss probably.
Yeah. You can for sure. And you can grow bigger than you've ever would have grown with where you're at now.
It is part of it is being the owner. You have to kill a little bit of your ego and get over those lost relationships.
Oh,
that's hard.
I gotta. Yes, 100%.
Struck a nerve there, huh?
My ego. My chest for a second. Yes, you do.
That is hard because you worked hard to build those relationships and you don't want to let them go. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
But the thing is, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty. One quick point is that, and I'm talking on this in Vegas this week if you're here, but you get into what's called the owner trap when your ego is larger than what it should be. You get into the owner trap where everything revolves around you. Yeah. There was a point in my business that wow was Todd and Todd was wow. I can't tell you how many real estate agents I am in their phone as Todd Wow.
Yeah.
There is no difference. You call Todd, you get wow. You call wow, that's Todd. And when you grow to enough agents, that becomes overwhelming. And you are going to drop the ball. You are going to forget things. And you are going to wonder why you backed yourself into a job. I did it. I did it for many years.
That's an interesting
I did it multiple times.
That's an interesting phrase you just said. Can you expound on that a little bit? You backed yourself into a job? What do you mean by that?
Well, we all start our business because we don't want to work for a boss we hate, or we want to have the freedom to own something, or we're taking the leap of faith to create something that our kids can have. And if you do it the wrong way, you're getting into this owner trap where you're in the corner where you are tied to nothing more than a job because everything revolves around you. And you have to do everything. And then you go, I use this analogy in my presentation. You hang out with your good friends on Friday evening. And you sit in their garage when everybody's happy and smiling and telling stories, and you have nothing to say. And it still strikes a chord with me because I remember sitting in this location. These were best friends of ours. And I sat there and I couldn't think anything except work. I had nothing to add. I couldn't ask some of my best friends how they are, how's life, how are their kids? Because I was so trapped in my business and I thought everything had to revolve around me. And I didn't know how to get out, y'all. I really didn't. It took help from a lot of people, but I was so trapped down in a deep, dark well. And I had some really bad thought errors in my head. And it took a lot of years to begin to reshape those and reshape the team. And I don't want that for you all. I really don't. I want you to build a healthy business. You have to rely on other people. And part of relying on other people means that it's not you that does it, which is a great thing. But those small percentage of clients that have to have you are going to go find someone else.
You got to protect your own personal margin is what I'm hearing and thinking.
Yes, 100%, Craig.
There are two books that are coming to mind, and I'm blanking on the exact names of them, but I think one of them is Boundaries, or it's something about boundaries. Um, I'll have to look it up. I'll put it in the notes if I find the name of the books that talk about that specifically. So,
Yeah. Great. Okay, let's jump into the particulars because we want to help you with the particulars as well. So,
what my question, and I think the question that's at the top of most of these people's minds, and guys, forgive me if I've assumed wrong, but what are the specific challenges that owners are finding in hiring photographers, say photographers specifically? What are the roadblocks to finding them and getting them on board? Would you say? I've got a couple in the back of my head, but what about you, Tom?
yeah. So if the first is like, oh, this is kind of scary. I don't know. Like, what is hiring? Are they a contractor or are they a W-2 employee? Like, what do I have to do? Like, I'm just used to doing my own thing, and I know what I do with taxes, and I file it this way. But like now, someone else is going to depend on me, and that's a heavy. That's not a burden, but that's a heavy responsibility. Thank you, Craig.
Yeah.
And so I did this. I just naturally, when I started, I was scared of that. And please, hiring an employee is not scary. It's actually very simple. There are regulations. There's regulations between a contractor and an employee. And I'm going to go over both of those, and I'm going to tell you pros and cons of both of them. So all of our photographers at WOW, except for two, are contractors, 1099 contractors, because we want to go look for people who have their own business that are looking for work Monday through Friday and then fill it in with some of their own work. So these are people that are doing maybe some corporate video on the weekends, or gigs come on Saturdays when weddings are. All right. Also, bartenders, they might have another job and they're looking to freelance. Okay. A lot of our people have some itch of creativeness where they do something: music, photo, video, art, something creative. And this happens to fit in. And I did that because immediately I was like, I don't want to hire employees. I was like, this is kind of really scary. It's not. But the thing about being a contractor and employee, and I'm not an attorney, y'all, so please consult an attorney in your state because this is a little bit different. But it all comes down to control. Do you have control over that individual? So for our photographers, they retain all control. They tell us when they want to work. They have the ability to not take a job. They tell us what they charge for a service. We have an agreement on a pay scale for them. They can invoice us for a fee that pertains to a job that might not be normal. Okay, so that is their business invoicing our business. And we lose some control as to where, if a photographer doesn't want to go to a job, say in a far out city or an outlier, as we call them, they can say no to it. And then it's on us to try to either find a different contractor that will go, or compensate them, come up with some agreement for compensation that they say, yes, this is a job I want to take. Okay, so we lose that as a company. Now, on the flip side, as an employee, you are going to tell your employee where to go and when to work, and you're going to pay them for that time and their expenses, and you have control. So if an employee does not want to go to the far city, then they are somewhat being insubordinate of your request. And you need to pay them to go to that city. And so do you see, everything kind of boils down to the same? Like if you send an employee to a far out city, you're just compensating them for this time. And probably if a contractor doesn't want to go out to the far out city, they're seeing it not worth their time. But it all comes down to control. Do you want the control of doing that? And we find with us at WOW that we are okay with our 30-some photographers keeping their control. And we feel like it's a good relationship because we need to be attractive to them so that they want to take jobs. And in the same sense, they want to be attractive to us so that we have the ability to say, hey, we have jobs for you.
Mm-hmm. When a potential contractor is talking with you and they ask guaranteed income or guaranteed number of jobs, what's your response? How do you handle that? Yeah, I was to say, I found that to be a sticking point.
Yeah, nothing is guaranteed. This is nothing is guaranteed as you have enough availability and you keep your schedule open and you accept jobs. The more jobs you accept, the more money you'll make. The higher skills that you have, the more you will make per job. Okay. Now, we do show them, hey, an average contractor that accepts this many jobs, this is about the fees that you would make. So we try to paint the picture for them and connect the dots because, again, they're coming into an industry that they don't have a lot of knowledge. We're still a very niched industry with real estate photography. Right. And they're coming in and they might not completely understand some of the business logic and the workings of just how it's going to pan out.
Sure. Okay. How do you handle questions of specific equipment that's needed for the job? What if they don't have the gear that's needed for photos, video, drone, 360 tours, things like that? What does the conversation look like with a potential hire for that?
Yeah. So with contractors, they have to have that equipment. So think of a contractor. There's houses being built in my neighborhood right now. Somebody's digging a foundation. Like, I can't hire a foundation guy if he does not have a backhoe.
Sure.
He's not coming, hey, will you rent me a backhoe? No, like, that's why I hired you. You need to have your own equipment. Now, I will say that we do help them facilitate getting their own equipment with our contractors, and they have to buy all of their own equipment. And sometimes having enough money up front to purchase all of the equipment can be limiting, and we don't want that to be limiting. So we have a program where we will purchase the equipment for them. They sign a contract with us. They agree that they are going to pay for 100% of that equipment over 24 months. We charge 0 interest, and they put a credit card on file that we charge every month for that payment.
Okay.
Now, in contrast, if you're hiring employees, you are buying all of that equipment and supplying it to them.
Right. Okay.
And the flip side is, and we haven't talked a lot about employees. I think an employee route is 6 of one, half dozen of another. It really is. With an employee, you're buying that equipment. You're paying them less per job and equivalents because now you are paying for all of that. You're supplying everything they need. You're covering more time on site if they need it.
Okay. And I know another question I've seen come through is how do I pay? What's the pay structure? Am I paying them like an hourly rate, or is it a per job, or is it like a salary, which would get weird if it's a contractor? So questions of how do you compensate for a contractor? I mean, obviously we know how we compensate for an employee, but how do you compensate contractors? How is that structure?
Yeah, so with contractors, they get paid per each service that they perform. So if they do photos, they get X. If they do video, they get Y. If they do drone, they get Z. And that all adds together. And that's what they essentially invoice us for that job.
So it doesn't matter square footage or how long the job takes. It's not an hourly rate or a size rate. It's just
so it's not an hourly rate, but because a job is larger with a larger home, then those rates do increase for them.
Okay. So you have a scale
because the job is bigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Good stuff. I'm trying to think of other things I've seen come through. Where do you find potential candidates as contractors or employees? How do we advertise for openings that we have, needs that we have?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to let me clarify one thing on the last question real quick, because I want to give you the comparison between the two. So I am not saying because we use contractors that you should use contractors. I think that this is probably a good discussion to have with an attorney and an accountant in your area. And really, neither are that difficult. There's just a checklist with each that you need to abide by. Okay. So with a contractor, you have to make sure they retain control. You have to make sure they have insurance. You have to make sure, like we make sure that they are actively advertising their services, not real estate photography, but they're advertising their services, maybe shooting weddings, families, babies, doing artwork. We have found that is an important thing, that they are a business. They're advertising out there, even if it's just on social media. Okay. So there's a check there. Yeah. And we found that out the hard way. We were audited one year and it came back. And that was one thing they looked at. Like, hey, show me that this person actually, somebody else can hire them for something else. And so we had to go and we would show, hey, here's their Facebook page, here's their website, here's their publication. And that was a determining factor, because when you're their only source of income, at least Ohio doesn't like seeing that because you ultimately control them. So we changed a few things. Just like if you are your own business, a contractor, you have insurance. Okay. That is a big thing that contractors have. You have your own equipment. You advertise your services. You have a EIN and you don't use your social as your business name. So all of these things tie into a contractor versus an employee.
For those of you that might not be aware, EIN, employer identification number, correct?
Correct. Yes. It's a process you have to go through with your state to say, hey, I'm a business. This is my business name. And then you get a number assigned to the business. Perfect. Let me contrast that. Sorry, this is a long point, but I want to make it because this is actually very simple, one versus the other. Mm-hmm. If you want to hire employees, what we find people are paying is people are typically paying starting at the $25 an hour range. And as that employee then becomes certified with video and drone, we see a lot of companies having success in bumping them up to $30 an hour. And again, you might have to correlate this to your market, but 25, 30, and then we see that other companies are bumping them up to 35. Then when that photographer becomes more of what you call a lead photographer or trainer. So when you can depend on that photographer helping onboard, give feedback, train new photographers, we are seeing a lot of companies bump them up to 35 and they make more per hour.
Makes sense.
So that is, and this is essentially what we do at WOW too with contractors. Contractors over the years say, hey, I used to charge you X for photography, and I've been doing this for 5 years. Like, I'm going to charge you X plus Y. Okay. So rates go up. This is natural. It happens with contractors and photographers, but I don't want you to be scared of others, of either. Mm-hmm. Just make an informed decision of, do you ultimately want control, or are you okay knowing that the individual has control?
Got it. Okay. All right. So let's go to that question of then, how do you find people to hire?
Yes. So we have tried a lot of different ways, and we have success with Indeed. That's just where we really have success at. We find that it gets enough it makes enough of a splash out there that we get good enough applicants. And city to city, we find that Craig's market, unfortunately for us, is just the most difficult. We have a lot of success in all the other cities. And
it's that guy in that market. He's just impossible to work with, I tell you.
Yeah, we need to talk about that on your grade card episode, Craig. Anyway. So we go to Indeed and we find that there is some secret sauce or the ability to get better in the way you post a job. So posting a job, you want to be clear about what it is. And you also need to entice them to want to look at the job and consider the job. We find that having custom questions on the Indeed job post is very helpful. Okay. I stole this from Colleen Kidd. They have a process where she has custom questions and she asks them to do a video. Okay. A video of themselves, because us connecting with that individual is super important. Remember, we talked a lot in this show about just the personality of the photographer. Like if we can cross that off with yes or no at the beginning by seeing them face to face on a camera, how do they interact? Do they speak well? Are they personable? Are they upbeat in the video? If they don't do the video, then they're not really that interested in the job.
Right.
So you have to have a good mix of trying to entice them, but also trying to weed enough of them out, because you don't want to call 100 people. It's if you get to the finish line and you realize one thing about a person that disqualifies them for the job, you've essentially wasted all of that time and you have to restart the process.
Yeah. Good stuff. Colleges, universities, great places to advertise as well, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
And actually, we have a potential lead here in my market, and it was somebody that heard about our opening through their college advisor. And he reached out to me, and we had a great sit down yesterday, in fact, 2 days ago. And so that's another option. Contact your local universities, community colleges. There's potential candidates there as well.
Yeah, they love businesses that are looking to hire college graduates. So please contact them. They will post this for you. They will connect people with you. And that serves them well, serves the graduate well, and serves you well. So reach out to them, put it on those boards, connect with those people, and that's a good possibility of candidates.
Beautiful. All right. Well, Todd, any closing thoughts? We hit quite a few different little points, and I know we could go on another hour talking about how to hire people, but hopefully there's been some good nuggets here. But any final thoughts that you have?
Just a couple, Craig. I think the biggest thing is when you want to hire, I want you to take that extremely seriously. It's not a scary thing, but for the good of the person, the good of you, make sure you've thought about the process. Think about, why would that person want to come in, and do they feel that they can grow with your company? Or is this just going to be a job? It is going to be very costly for you, and you're going to want to have the tendency to think that you should stay solo if you hire someone and they just churn one after the next, 3 months, 6 months. It's painful for everyone involved, including your clients. It's not the best thing that your clients see a whole lot of faces. So there is a ton of value in finding the right person, paying someone well. That was one thing that I think as I started, I tried to find someone who would do it for cheap. And one of my favorite People's Court Judge Million quotes, sometimes the cheap ends up expensive.
Yeah.
So please don't try to pinch pennies. Do have a conversation with an attorney or your accountant or a business owner. This is an important thing that will help you grow. Remember, my $20K a month does not compare to the $350K a month. It's a good thing. And you're going to screw it up. Fine. Let's just close with this. You're going to screw it up. And when you screw it up, you should go to the employee or the contractor and tell them you screwed something up. Apologize to them. Ask them how they feel. What could you change to try to get through this screw up? No matter what it is. Maybe it's just you don't connect with them enough. Maybe they feel like they don't have a relationship. Maybe you didn't train them well enough. You're going to do all of those things bad. I screwed all of them up in times 10. But as you slowly learn and you document the process, you will get the hang of it. And it is the best thing ever, because now 21 years, almost 22 years in the WOW, I don't know if any of our new clients even know who I am. Yeah. I don't know if any of our new clients in the last 5 years even know who I am. And that's a powerful thing, because I show up on Friday nights now with friends and I'm not in an owner trap. And it's because I've leaned on a team. I've empowered a team. We've grown a team. We've taken care of a team, and they are taking care of me.
Great way to end. A great way to end. The owner trap. Look forward to hearing more on that at Rep. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, guys, hopefully that was helpful to you. Feel free to post some comments on the YouTube channel. If you have further questions, we'll try and answer those best we can. Feel free to drop us an email, hello@spiro.media. But like Todd said, talk with an attorney, a business coach, somebody that can mentor you a little bit more hands-on and personally on that, and help you set up for some good success. Todd, thank you. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. Well, you guys have a great week. Make sure you take some time to be thankful as we are heading into, we're in November now, season of Thanksgiving here in the U.S. Already celebrated Thanksgiving in Canada, so happy belated Thanksgiving to our Canadian brethren and sisterin up there. But yeah, just take some time to be thankful for your blessings, and make sure you take some time to breathe. Have a great week.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and WOW Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.